If you analyze a story, you will see that most all of these are in any good story. Sometimes, certain things are missing, but they're tiny things. But all these major things are in every good story ever written. Okay. Next is when he starts taking his immoral actions, he needs to be criticized by characters. They don't have to be main characters. Shoot, it can even be a walk-on character. Someone at a restaurant says, hey, some guy at a restaurant notices Jack and is like, saw Jack, one of his immoral actions he took, and but he needs to be criticized. Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't go down there, man. It's not a good place down there, and it's against the law. You might end up in jail. Whatever it is, he needs to be criticized here and there. So here and there throughout his immoral actions. Remember, this is all happening. This is the drive of the story. So within this drive of the story, he needs to make immoral actions, or he needs to take immoral actions, and characters need to criticize him. And every time he's criticized, maybe not every time, you have to decide this on your own, but he needs to also, at least once, he needs to justify what he's doing. So he needs to get in a little argument with someone. That's good. Argument's good. Tension's good. So someone criticizes him, and he gives his justification for it. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Or, hey, don't tell me what to do. These cops aren't helping. That's his justification. So I need to do it. Also, we need an ally attack. In this case, I need to have his sister attack him, because that's his strongest ally. His sister needs to not attack him like physically. What I mean by attack is needs to criticize him. So his sister needs to be like, look, you need to stop. You've become a druggie. You become abusive. Because of your drugs, you need to get off the drugs. You need to straighten up. You need to just let this go. And now what are you doing? Now you're talking to thugs. You're talking to these alien thugs that are doing illegal things for you. What are you doing? How are you going down this path? So she needs to attack him. And that's going to play a role later with him coming out of his stupor. Okay, now obsessive drive. Somewhere within here, as he's driving forward, somewhere in the middle of the story, I would say, he pretty much needs to be defeated by the opponent. Feels hopeless and lost, is ready to give up. And then someone comes and something happens, whether it's someone or something, whatever, something happens, a scene takes place, and he gets a new revelation. So in this story, I know exactly what that's going to be. He confronts his fear of heights by chasing Charlie on a high building, a scaffolding building, where he can see below him. Building that's being built or whatever. It's not fully built yet. And he decides to chase Charlie through this, so his determination to see justice done overrides his fear of heights, which is natural and organic. Maybe he doesn't overcome his fear of heights, but he does momentarily to chase Charlie. Him and Charlie get in a confrontation, a battle. Charlie's like, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I never raped your sister. Blah, blah, blah. You're a liar. Get in a fight. Charlie is about to fall. Jack needs to make his first huge moral decision. Do I let him fall, or do I help him? Jack just about has a change of heart. Is going to help Charlie, but Charlie slips and falls. And right before he does, Charlie says something, gives him a certain hint, but he doesn't register yet. He falls to his death. Jack feels bad, spirals out of control, maybe even starts taking some other drug because Valium's not enough anymore. Gets more abusive. He's defeated, done. You think the story's over because maybe we don't know Bob's the real culprit if I decide to write it from one point of view only. If I write it from multiple point of views, then we will know that. Then I'll build tension another way. Anyway, the point being that He's defeated. He gives up. But then he thinks about what Charlie said, and he goes, "Wait a minute!" And he has a new revelation, a new realization. As many of these, you want a couple of these new realizations, revelations throughout the story that help him move along and build the tension. And this one is that Charlie wasn't the rapist. I don't know what this is. I don't know what he says yet, but he says something. And whatever that something is, when he really thinks about it, he goes, "Oh my gosh, Charlie couldn't have done it. Maybe Charlie's jacket was different." And he sees his symbol, and he's like, "Wait, that's a different organization. That's not the jacket I saw. Oh my gosh, it's similar, but it's not the right one." And then he remembers the right one is like, goes back to this guy, this alien guy, and is like, "Look, man, you gave me the wrong guy." And he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I was paid by someone, and here's the real organization." And so he starts looking for Bob now. And he doesn't know it's Bob yet, but he hides out, researches, and finds out it's Bob, and now, or maybe we don't find out it's Bob until the end. I don't know yet. It doesn't matter. But so that's important. So he needs a new revelation that drives his obsessive. So I should probably put that in there. Revelations are good. You want revelations here and there. So he has a new revelation, which leads to his obsessive drive. Now he gets even more determined, more desperate, and does greater things, takes greater measures to reach his goal. He's met girl, starts to like her. She thinks Bob deserves to be destroyed. Maybe she even helps him find Bob, and that's her take on the theme, as I said before, her value system. And so now he's going to go find Bob. Okay, we need more immoral actions, criticisms from characters, and justification. Maybe even another ally attack if you want. You don't have to. But you definitely need him to take more after his obsessive drive. He needs to take more immoral actions. Even he needs to do greater things than before. You need to keep raising the stakes. Now he's taking even greater moral actions than he did before. He needs greater criticisms, and he needs some sort of justification for what he's doing. Doesn't have to have it. Depends on your story. Okay, and now we've come to the end of our story, which is the final battle. The final battle decides the goal, and we already know what the end is, because that's how we started this whole thing. So we know that he's not going to reach his goal. That is, he's not going to kill Bob. He's not going to hurt Bob. Well, I mean, they fight. They have a little fist fight or something. And then he wrestles the gun and laser rifle or laser blaster or something, and he's going to kill Bob, and Bob gives his justification again for why he did what he did, let's say, and Jack has a revelation, and I need to work at building that throughout the story, foreshadowing that. And I have already gave some ways: his sister's attack on him, what she said, what some other people said, things he's thought about. I need to foreshadow that to where it feels organic and not artificial. And he has this revelation that, you know what, killing you is not going to change anything because I killed Charlie and I thought he was the real guy and blah blah blah. So he decides, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to let you live. I'm going to let the cops handle it. And maybe he's not even sure if the cops will do anything yet because maybe there's not enough evidence. Nonetheless, he decides to let it go. He's not going to kill him, and that's that. So the other thing you want to do, though, within this final battle, either right before it or right after it, is he can take one more moral action against the opponent, either good or bad. So I can make him either right before the battle or right after the battle. I can make him take one more immoral or moral action against him, and let's say it was I don't know, to kick him one more time really hard or something, as he decides not to kill him, like knock him out or something, or I don't know, shoot his arm or something. Take that, I'm gonna let you live, but I'm gonna shoot your penis off, whatever. Okay, so he's gonna take his one last stab. If you don't, that's not mandatory, but in this case I'm gonna make him take his one last stab to make the readers feel some justice was done, because if he gets off unharmed, I think the readers will be kind of pissed off. So he shoots his penis off, or he shoots his leg or something, really hurts him bad, but he lets him live. But now he's faced, the final battle is he's faced with his moral dilemma. He